Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spice It Up Cooking Club, brought to you by the Perry County Public Library and me, Miss Jessie, the Children's Youth Services Librarian. Today, we're going to be attempting to make hot cocoa bombs, which this has been really popular in the past few months. And what it is, it's almost like a surprise egg. But on the inside, we have cocoa. So, you're going to need a few things to get started. We're going to need ingredients. We're going to need things like chocolate. I'm using this, just a big chocolate bar. You can use melting wafers. You can use the baking bars. You can buy the little chocolate melts. You can use the chocolate chips. I've seen several recipes online that just call for different things. I use this. Mini marshmallows, if you want mini marshmallows in it. Traditional work as well as those little, the freeze dried ones that you can get. That's kind of like in your cereal. You're going to need, of course, a hot cocoa mix, which you can make your own or you can buy it. I bought this. I had this on hand. Garnish. Now, when I say garnish, I mean something that you can sprinkle on. I've got some gold sugar dust. I have some peppermint bark. If I want to chunk it up, I can put it on top. And when you finally have your cocoa bomb done and you want to use it, milk or hot water if you're lactose intolerant, to be able to melt your cocoa bomb and to drink it. Now you are going to need a few little items. We're going to need a microwave. If you don't have a microwave, you can always use a double boiler, which is you take a pot and you put water in it, and then you have another pot that you put on top that you can melt your chocolate slowly on the stove top. A spoon. I'm using just a little throwaway spoon that I have. You can use a chocolate mold, a candy mold, cupcake liners for shape. I saw where someone used a Kinder egg that they used and they filled it in. I've seen where they've taken Easter eggs and put plastic wrap around it and dipped it and used that. If you have a food safe latex, you can make a balloon and do it that way because I've seen them do that and make ice cream bowls out of chocolate. A popping bag is optional. That's if you want to make some pretty designs on it. A baking tray. And this just because I've got silicone and you can tell this is like really wobbly. And I'm using my Pikachu candy molds because that's what I have. And I thought they were really cute. And I was like, we're going to make cocoa out of Pikachu. But as you can see, that's really wobbly. So what I do is I use the pan as a stabilizer. That way, when I go to put this in the refrigerator to harden up, it's not going to get chocolate everywhere. Now, step one, we're going to melt our chocolate. In a microwave safe bowl, I used my Pyrex, and at 30-second intervals, I would get it out, stir it, put it back in for another 30 seconds, take it out, stir it. It took me for a bar this size, a minute and 30 seconds. And this is really, you can tell this is really smooth. Don't over microwave your chocolate because if you overheat or over microwave your chocolate, it's going to get real clumpy and hard. But you can smooth that out by putting in like a little bit of cooking oil or Crisco, a little bit of butter, a little bit of milk, very little, and that'll help smooth it out. So you could melt it and then add that in and then just stir it really well. Step two, we're going to place whatever mold we're using on our flat baking pan. Pika pika. So this is our steady surface. And using the spoon, I'm going to coat my mold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in and I'm going to kind of brush it around so I've got all the nice little crevices. Now you will have to coat two of these because it's cocoa bomb. You're going to have a top, you're going to have a bottom. Sometimes you might take this. I've seen where people just pour a lot into the mold and then they flip it upside down. And that fills up all the spaces. Like they'll take it and they'll move it around and they'll let it go up to the sides and move it all around. And then they'll just turn it over and let the excess drain out. See, I'm going to put a little bit more chocolate in that one, then I've got to do my other one. And remember, we don't want to fill these all the way up to the top with chocolate because we have to have room for our cocoa mix. So we've got to make sure that we have a cavity, a little hole in the center. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we have enough on there that we're going to have a good steady base to work with so it doesn't fall apart when we pop out our chocolates. So I'm just lifting it up as I go. Make sure I'm covering all the sides. Make sure it's nice and even. I'm going to do all 4 of mine. Now, if you don't have a chocolate mold, you do not have to have a chocolate mold. Like I said, I've seen where they do this with a cupcake liner, and they put it in a cupcake tray, and they put that around the side. And it's almost like they're making a Reese cup. Now, we do want to be careful. I would suggest, Miss Jessie didn't think about it until just now, wearing old clothes because chocolate can be messy. Or if you want to wear an apron. So I've got 2 that I've got coated right there. And if you think that when you get this out, they're like, oh, I think it needs to be a little bit thicker, you can always melt some more chocolate and then do another coat on the inside to make it steadier. It'll take a little bit longer, but that's okay because we're on nobody's time but our own. Now we do want to keep a little bit of chocolate left because that's what we're going to use to put our cocoa bombs together. So we're going to use our chocolate kind of like a glue. And as you can see, Miss Jessie's got chocolate on her, and I'm going to have to use my stain pen, make sure I don't get stains on my shirt. But here we go. We are just coating this up. Make sure we've got it all good and coated all around the sides. It's okay if you go a little bit over. Oh my goodness, there we go. I think I have got it fully covered. Oh, wait, no. Missed the spot. That's the reason we always look, guys. You can move it around. That way you can see. You move your tray around. Make sure you've got everything. I've got to get Pikachu's ears. Oh my goodness. Now that I have my chocolate mold filled, and it looks like I've got just about all of it. I'm still making, I worry about those ears, so up there like that. We are going to put this in the refrigerator. Now, after about 15 minutes, you can remove the molds from the refrigerator to see if they're hard. Mine had to go a little bit longer. I don't know if it was the size or the type of chocolate that I used. And I went back and I filled in the ears on Pikachu a little bit better. So they were a little more sturdy. So I managed to get out 2 pretty clean looking Pikachus. You know, they're a little iffy on some of the little sides, but that's okay because we're going to fill it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one. I'm going to open my cocoa powder, my cocoa mix, and I'm going to pour it in the middle as much as I can. Now, I may not be able to get all of it in there, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is my other one, I'm going to take this, get some of my melted chocolate, which I'm getting all over myself, which is fine. And I'm going to put that right around the edges. And that's going to act as my glue for my cocoa bomb. And this is a very, very messy project, but that's okay. Now, you might want to wear gloves though, just because, or even get your hands a little bit chilled, because chocolate does have a rather low melting temp. So you might see, your fingerprints, or you might notice that it's starting to melt a little bit. So I'm going to put that together. So I've got that put together. And it's not going to be the prettiest thing, but it's definitely going to work. So I'm just going to put that together. Oh my goodness, I've got chocolate everywhere, guys. But this is the reason why we do this. We learn as we go. And I'm just putting that around the side. I'll do that to the top. And then I can put this back in the fridge and let it set up and harden. And like I said, it's okay if it doesn't look the prettiest. It's still going to taste good. So I'm going to put that on there, and I've got some chocolate I'm going to put on the top of my Pikachu on one side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate it. So I can take my sprinkles and I can decorate it like that. Or if I wanted to, I had chopped up my peppermint bark. And the sprinkles also is good to what you use to seal it together. So this is my cocoa bomb. Like I said, mine's not the prettiest in the world, but it'll work and it'll taste really good. So I hope that you guys had fun doing this. And I hope that we've learned something, whether it's something that we've done wrong and we've learned from it, or we got it right the first time. It's always an experience on what to do. So I hope that everybody enjoyed, and tune in next time. Thanks, everybody.